Greetings, Captains. Gunship here. Hope you are doing well. Do you ever ask yourself what would happen if you just had one battleship and you tried to get up against a number of cruisers and destroyers? How many would it take to actually take you down? We were wondering about that, so we decided to put it to the test using a custom battle. We did some initial tests with 3 cruisers, and the battleship could easily handle that. So here we are in an interesting battle where we have 4 cruisers and 4 destroyers. We are Norway, so we spawn relatively close to each other, about 9 kilometers. And as you can see, as I speed up the replay here to 4 times normal speed, so you don't have to wait too long for the result, I certainly take a lot of incoming fire. You know, we are talking about fast firing destroyers like the Summer and the Moffat. We got 2 Atlantas in there again to just basically try to put me on fire. And we got a couple of other ships there to do damage, i.e. the Maxim Gorky and what's the other one? I think it's the Baltimore. So that's 8 ships against 1. And all the ships are piloted or driven by captains that, you know, are not new to the game. And all the ships are spaded. So, you know, as you can see here, I managed to take down one of the ships. That sort of helps a little bit, and I get another one as well. And things start thinning out, but I'm taking more and more damage as time goes on, and the ships are getting closer to me as well. Because we found that it really is a question about the ships getting close enough that the cannons can do enough damage. As you say here, there is no torpedoes used, and there's also no depth charges or anything like that. It's purely a question about firepower. Now, I'm probably about 60% damage, but I have whittled down a number of the cruisers, and it's mostly destroyers left. There's 1 Atlanta left as well. Actually, there's 2 Atlantas left, I think. And it's not hard any longer for the battleship. It does actually prevail, as I don't have to soak up quite as much incoming fire. I can not keep up with repairs, but repairs goes at a steady rate, shall you say. It's not too bad. Yes, front and back turrets do get damaged, and that's okay. And I still have my secondaries that at some point I think I do switch over to use as well. At least when target gets quite close by. So you can probably see where we get to the end of this battle here as it runs out. I do eventually prevail. I stay strong enough. I think I get down to about 25% damage, but then I kind of stabilize at that kind of area, and it's just a question about keeping myself afloat. I get rammed by one of the guys, but as you know, that doesn't really do any damage, but he had to use depth charges there, and if that was allowed, then that probably would have been the end of me. But in terms of raw firepower, not being shot from all angles here now, I do manage to stay in the game. Taking out the initial couple of cruisers first clearly stood me in good stead. And as you can see from the images and on the right side, you know, I do damage on the various cruisers or destroyers that is close by. Here's Moffat having some secondary fire from me. He tried to smoke up, but you know, the damage is already done, and he'll have to bite the bullet eventually. Now I think we got 1 or 2 Atlantas still in play. Yeah, there's 1 behind me, and there's 1 in front of me. So I switch over to the one that is closest and simply just attack him with my secondaries most of the time. Some of my guns are bothered, but the secondaries are quite hard to do damage to where they're set on the battleship. Now, obviously, using the Russian battleship has absolutely the advantage. It's one of the most sturdy, shall we say, protected in the game, and the sap shells have 50 kilograms of TNT filler, or is it 53? So, very handy. And now there's only one left, and it's just a question of time here before it comes to the end. So with that in mind, the boys clearly wanted their revenge. So I'm going to show you another battle where we are now doing 8 cruisers against 1 battleship, and you can see how that panned out. But for now it's over and good night, because the battleship won the day. Here we are starting the second battle, and as you can see now we have 8 cruisers as the enemy. Again, we speed up the replay to 4 times so you don't have to wait too long. And as you can see now, there's a heavier fire coming in, shall we say, from these 8 cruisers. The boys are also now getting a little bit more keen on watching where my turret points, and therefore they do a lot better job of evading incoming shots. They pay a lot more attention to that. So initially I tried to just see if I can find ships I can broadside, and they're very good at turning away, so that's why I'm not focusing on one target the entire time. I do want to take down the Susuya as one of the ships, as he's relatively close by, and do a bit of a broadside to me. But I'm taking a lot more damage now, and therefore my reload times are affected. I repair more. I only shoot with, not with 12 barrels at a time, but maybe with 8 or 9 or something like that. And I haven't actually at this stage managed to kill a single one of them yet. You can see the Susuya there is taking hits and is getting close. Now, one of them could have been a bit more lucky shot than it was, and maybe able to taking it down, but he's fighting on and making it difficult for me. They also very much, majority of them are steaming ahead to me, because they need to know that closing the distance for them are really important. Obviously some of the things like the Baltimore secondaries goes absolutely mental as soon as they come in reach. And I'm starting to severely struggle now in terms of keeping up with repairs. Almost got Susuya down, but it's too little and too late, and I'm taking on water quite significantly now. My engines are out, and essentially that was all she wrote. It's game over for this battleship. Now I do spawn a second battleship, because why not? And as you can see here, I managed to do some damage, and I do manage to take out 1 or 2 of the ships. But at this stage the ships are already close, so all the incoming fire really hurts. So yeah, I might have taken 2 ships down. They were already partly damaged from early on, but the 6 remaining cruisers are giving me a good hosing down. I'm taking a lot of damage. I can't repair quick enough, and it's just a question about time before they manage to finish me off. However, a battleship is 0.3 BR higher than a heavy cruiser. So are they overpowered? Well, on a 1-to-1, yes, of course they are. But is there a need to change the battle rating? Maybe for some of them. Things like the Maria maybe ought to go up to 6.3, but that's not really necessarily the point. It's a question about concentrating fire, and of course, in this example, no planes were used with bombs, there was no torpedoes, etc., etc. It was just a raw firepower exercise. I think it was interesting nonetheless, and I hope you enjoyed it. So all the best, and hope to see you next time. Bye for now.